She took me like to a precipice in my dream, and she told me, okay, jump. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot jump. And I just opened my arms and jump. I got sick when I was about 37 with lupus, RA, fibromyalgia, and depression. I was not getting better. And that's where I start doing the inner work. Everything, all my mistakes, and I start getting my power back and understanding where all my own power was. I haven't had a flare up in 12 years.
She helps starseeds, lightworkers, energy workers to have more confidence in their skills so that they don't project themselves into their clients with unresolved trauma. She uses NLP, life coaching skills, channeling, quantum healing techniques.
You can change your identity because it's a program at the end that they start for letting go the shame and the blame and the guilt and start forgiving themselves.
What message would you give them if they were watching this video now? What would you say to those people? Where would they start?
What I would tell them it is, if they don't like the life that they're living, they can't change it, because we can change our life depending on our emotions and our thoughts. What things you are doing for yourself, because everything starts from.
Hey everyone, it's Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. A quick message before we dive into today's conversation. You may have been watching the podcast videos but have not had a chance to hit that subscribe button. So if you have ever gained value from our videos, from our conversations, it would mean so much to us if you would hit that subscribe button below right now, or even just give us a like. And what that means is not only does it allow us to grow our subscriber base, but it allows us to bring in more important guests for you to listen to. And you will be one of the first ones to be notified. So please hit that subscribe button and let's get started on today's conversation.
Welcome to Pathways to Wellbeing. Hi, I'm Joanne Irwin, your host from the Sacred You community. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Monica Ramirez. Have I said that correct? Ramirez. Okay. Monica Ramirez is a warrior of love, is an architect of inner transformation. She helps starseeds, light workers, energy workers to have more confidence in their skills so that they don't project themselves into their clients with unresolved trauma. Love that. She uses NLP, life coaching skills, channeling, quantum healing techniques to access and reprogram the motherboard of your well-being so that you can shed the unhelpful beliefs that hold you back, connect with your higher realms, and fulfill your personal and business potential. And the topic we're diving into today is about believing in self. So we'll be discussing the power of believing in yourself and its profound impact on inner transformation. Discover how self-belief is the key to unlocking personal growth, healing, and living authentically. You'll also learn how overcoming doubt and embracing your true potential can lead to lasting change and empowerment. So first of all, welcome, Monica. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today. And I'd like to start by just asking you how you came into this work, where it all started for you.
First of all, thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate it. How I came to this? I was born in a family that it was, let's put it like this, we have kids. And that things were happening since I was a kid. But I came to a very hard beginning. I got sick when I was about 37 with lupus, RA, fibromyalgia, and depression. And after going with one doctor, medications and exams and studies and all those kind of things for 10 years, I was not getting better. Now I was having epilepsy. So I came to understand that what I did to myself, because obviously the medications and everything was not getting me better. It was actually getting me worse. Now I was having epilepsy. I heard from, I've been going with many shamans and many tribes and so forth, and with many people since I was a little kid. So I start asking them, okay, what do I have to do? And now with the time, it was everything is inside of you. Everything is inside of you, and everything is inside of you. The logical mind for the society norms, that is not even logic. You have to believe what the doctor tells you, take your medications, and that's it. That's what the society norm will tell you. When I really took rock bottom with my depression and so forth, and feeling sick and swollen and in pain and all those things, and I could not even drive anymore, that's when I realized, okay, I don't want to have this life. And I went to sleep that night saying, I don't want to have this life anymore, and I don't want to be depressed neither. So in my dream, my higher self presented the first time with me. And she told me, it's okay, you don't want this life? And like, no, please get me out of here. I'm done with all these things that I'm going on in my body. And she told me, okay. She took me like to a precipice in my dream. And she told me, okay, jump. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot jump. If I heard that if I die and I'm asleep, I was not going to wake up. And I have at that time, my daughter was about 6, 7 years old. And I cannot die. I have my daughter. They're like, oh, okay, then go back to your bed and everything is going to continue exactly the same as you be living. And I just started thinking how miserable I was. And I just opened my arms and jump. When I jump, everything started changing on me. It was to start, I went to sleep, but it was night, it was dark. And but when I wake up, it was daytime. It's okay, how many hours I slept. And then the days start changing so fast that I did not know it was day or it was night, if the door was there or it was a window. Everything started changing. And I thought I was getting crazy. In that moment, what is the reality? The door was there, now it's a window, the door is over there, and it's like, what is going on? And I asked for help again, but awake. And immediately I received a message from Facebook from someone that I did not know that she was in New Zealand, that she was looking for 12 magical women. And in the moment I laughed and I was like, okay, I'm not magical, I'm just crazy. I don't know what is going on with me. But I still sent her the message. And that was the first time, that was close to 12 years ago. She sent me a message in Messenger and she called me. And that was the first time I received a phone call from Messenger in that time. I was not coming 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, and she told me, okay, what is going on with you? And I told her, I think I'm getting crazy. I don't know if the door is here or there, is night or is day, or what is going on with me. And she told me, oh, you're time jumping. Am I what? Yes, your time jumping. And okay, we start this day and you're at me. And I accepted my class. Oh, this was an interview. Yes. I was like, oh, thank God you don't tell me because I will get nervous and I will fail for sure.
Yeah.
But that really changed my life. And that's where I start doing the inner work. That's when I start really owning everything, all my mistakes, and I start getting my power back and understanding where all my own power was. As my mind is starting to flow and get into a normal state for me, I start getting better. And I stopped needing that many medications. Later on, I haven't had a flare up in 12 years.
Wow.
Everything started getting better and better. I'm not going to say that it was an easy work to do or it was not painful, but it was, as she told me one time, it is going to be as painful as you want. And it was. And that's my story of how I started changing.
Wow. Incredible. And the power of story. I love that story because it's just, you just don't know until it comes, the answers come. And the fact that you are asking for help is a huge step, isn't it? But then in your dream, trusting that process and having faith, like you had it was like that sliding doors moment, isn't it? Where you can choose to go back and stay the same, or you can face your fear and jump into the unknown and then it's like the universal life or whatever you believe in opens the doors, doesn't it, for the next aligned step, and to have that message fall in, but also for you to have the trust and faith and belief that there's something in this. I need to follow this divine breadcrumb, I call them, the divine breadcrumbs to what do I need, and that she was there to support that next step for you. And I would love to know, is this the I guess the methodology that you learned through that program that you use today in your own work, or have you expanded that?
Oh yes, I have expanded a lot. In that time, that was one of the methodologies that she started using with me. But after that, I took NLP, BQH, that is hypnosis. I have take cognitive behavioral therapy. I have take life coaching, many certifications. I was already Reiki master when I went with her, so I already knew about energy healing modalities and so forth. But it has been a journey.
It's usually, isn't it, for people who have life-changing experiences, it sets them on that trajectory for a lot of other things. And it sounds like that was the pivotal moment where you had to make that change and believe in yourself so that you could move forward in where you're meant to be right now, helping others, right?
Yes.
Wow. So can you define self-belief and what role that's played in your journey towards transformation?
Yes. I start painting exhibiting my work about 43 years ago.
Painting?
Yes, I am an
artist.
majority art. I've been doing it, and I exhibit now all around the world. But it didn't start like that.
Yeah.
Started at the beginning, that when the people ask me, okay, do you paint? And I did not believe in myself. That was about 25, 27 years ago. That's when people start questioning me, because I start exhibiting my work more formally in United States. And I said, no, I do it as a hobby. But that's when I start realizing, oh my gosh, I have already planned 10 art exhibits. I'm already selling my work, and there are people asking me for more work, and I just do it as a hobby. Like, I feel this is a hobby. Later on, I opened an art gallery, and I realized that many of the artists that they were arriving in there, I did not have all this knowledge that I have now. They were arriving in there, they had the same issue as I did. They did not believe in themselves, and their artwork was amazing. They were not believing in themselves. So I was helping them and believing in themselves, and creating more art exhibits and creating promotions for them and so forth. So like that, they can start believing in the work that they were doing. And then the poets and the musicians and the actors and so forth. And I work with all of them with the same process. And when I started working with the National Federation of the Blind for 5 years, and I was teaching them how to paint and creating art exhibits for them, exhibiting in Italy, in different places, that's when I realized I want to learn how to help these people. I was already working in my own process of working with me. Someone tell me, why you don't want to have a certification of life coach? You know what? I would love to have a certification so I can help these people. They're completely blind, and they're already creating paintings. And that's what it took me there. And now working after that was my first certification, the life coaching, and then later on it came the NLP, and then later on came the other ones that right now at this point there are so many.
So really, self-belief starts with almost needing to close the eyes, right? To not see what's truly beautiful. Did you say you're working with the blind? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So they had no perception of what they were creating. So therefore there was no...
They knew what they wanted to create, and I drew it in a canvas for them.
Yeah.
And I put hot glue around it so they can feel it.
Yes.
And I started learning from them about because some of them, they were born blind. So they don't know what was red or blue or anything of that. But they tell me, okay, what is the sensations of the blue? What is the sensation of the gel or whatever color it was? So they start that actually you don't need eyes to
Yes.
actually create an art piece or put in the colors that actually you want, not the teacher, they want.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been able to see what you created. You realize that you didn't believe that you were, what was it, that you weren't good enough or it wasn't good enough or?
Well, the one, I believe the you're not good enough, it is worldwide.
Yeah.
It's something that
Oh,
almost every single human being have it ingrained since we're kids. That's
yeah.
where it started,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And just specifically in women, right? It's just been for generations that we've ran that program, haven't we? That story about not being good enough. Wow.
Yes. And something that
Yeah.
touched me in my studies was the subconscious.
Yes.
That's why I went into hypnosis and NLP and
Yeah.
cognitive behavioral therapy and RABT and so forth.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Yeah.
where,
I love that. I love that. And so I want to talk about this piece around understanding unresolved trauma and the ability to fully embrace your self-belief, because now we're tapping into in areas of when we don't believe that we're good enough that runs us. Usually from my work, I find that there's something underlying, that an event or a trauma or a core wound that's driving that belief. Can you talk about your experience with that and how unresolved trauma affects the ability to fully embrace our own belief, self-belief?
yes,
Yeah.
very rooted on me. I was born in a narcissist family.
Uh-huh.
So in a narcissist family, the first thing that you cannot, it is believe in yourself. You are there to serve. That's all. And I am born from a Mexican family. So women's are just basically to serve. That's what we're created for. And more me, I was the youngest one. So it was more credit for me in that part because
Mm.
I was just supposed to be the one that take care of my parents, and that's it. That's all my mission in life. So believing in myself, it took me a lot. Of course, I did a lot of mistakes in that because you will attract whatever you feel you deserve. Of course, you tell me that in that time, I will dismiss you completely because I didn't
Mm.
do anything. But now, after many years, after analyzing my life and so forth, that why I got married to one of my husbands that used to beat me, it was precisely because of that, because I didn't felt that I deserved better.
Mm.
That's an issue that many women has or men.
Mm.
They will attract the job that they don't want, but they don't feel that they can have better, or the marriage, or the friends, or anything. They're attracting. We are attracting with our. How do we believe in ourselves? Whatever we feel like it. It doesn't matter how many affirmations we do a day. We are
Yeah.
not going to attract what we really want if we don't remove that part of us that it is ingrained in our subconscious, our worth.
Yeah. Beautiful. And that plays out in our life, right? That whole what we attract, and it's also in when we vibrate at a certain, when we're not believing in ourselves, we're vibrating at a certain energy, aren't we? A frequency that's attracting that what we believe. It's almost a two-ended thing. Oh, I love that. And so what do you think inner transformation mean to you, and how does the self-belief facilitate that?
When I start believing in myself, of course, I got rid of the husband that
Husband.
was beating me to start.
Yeah.
But I started realizing that I have to forgive myself. I have to forgive the mistakes that I have done before, including the marriage that I had, because he was only my teacher. It was observing things in a different way because I chose to marry him. So I was responsible that then I have to forgive myself for making that choice and understanding why I did it so I don't repeat the same story again. And once that we start forgiving ourselves, when I start forgiving myself and I start letting go, what I feel in if I observe something that it was gonna be harming me, instead of helping me, is I have to start questioning myself. why I feel that I deserve this, or why I attract this.
Yeah.
Learning to become the observer of your thoughts and your emotions, it is just crucial, because they start changing our reality in our lives. What we start attracting really what we really want. But for that, we have to completely become the observers.
Yeah, I love that piece about observing. And that takes like really a lot of courage, especially, and I'm sorry for your pain and what happened to you. Nobody deserves that. I connect deeply with that process as well. But what happens is that a lot of societal feeds this as well, that they really get them in, really come from a place of victim, right? And not taking self-responsibility for that, the ownership of that process. And that comes with wisdom, also with connecting in with the right environment and the right people and the right community to help facilitate that. So I'm not sure about your culture, but ours here in Australia, it's very a victim mentality. They approach it from that. So that just feeds that mentality so that people don't take that responsibility, because they've got services around them to support that, facilitate that process. Does that make sense?
It will make sense, and it's not, because in a way you're depending on the right people to come, the right help to come, the right friends, etc. And you're putting too much faith in other people. And remember, you're vibrating low that you don't deserve. You're going to be attracting the wrong people.
Yeah.
The wrong friends.
When you're in that energy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to do the inner work. You have to forgive yourself for whatever mistake you did. You just have to understand that you acted with information that you had at that time.
Yeah.
More than you forgive yourself and start falling in love with your own self, now you're going to start attracting the right people in your life.
Yes.
Or else you're not going to have that support.
Yes.
Or the support that you're going to have is going to be the wrong support.
Yes. And hearing messages like this on when we put it out into the world from people like you that have done that gives them that hope that, yes, they can tap, because some people, it's a foreign thing to do the inner work. They're just, again, their programming is not at that frequency. What we're doing in the world, even now, sharing the way you've done that is actually supporting them. They've come across, like you came across something in a dream, you came across something, a person who inboxed you, and because you were open to receiving that information. So I guess where I'm going here is that having that open mindset to receive the information and trusting that process. So 100% loving this conversation. What about for these people? Yeah, just that note. What about people who have never experienced any inner work or had any modeling in the past around inner work or taking responsibility? What message would you give them if they were watching this video now? What would you say to those people? Where would they start?
What I would tell them it is, if they don't like the life that they're living, they can't change it, because we can change our life depending on our emotions and our thoughts. We are being programmed that we are powerless as human beings, that things happen to us, not happen for us. That's the programming that we have. So in the moment that if you don't like how people are treating you, are you setting boundaries to them? Are you actually loving yourself enough to let go people that they're not the best for you? Are you loving yourself, taking care of you? What things you are doing for yourself? Because everything starts from loving you. And from there, you can observe what things you have to let go or change or modify. So like that, you can start creating the life that actually you really want. At the beginning, it is self-love.
Yeah. And that's that forgiveness piece too, isn't it, that you talk about?
Yes.
Yeah, forgiving self. You're not really forgiving in that process you are, but truly you're forgiving yourself from all the blame, shame, and guilt that we carry innately as well.
Tell you something about the victim mentality
Yep.
that I used to have. Obviously, when I was sick, those many years,
Yep.
I, oh, poor me, I cannot do this and I cannot do that. And life was just passing through the past 10 years that I could do many things because I was in pain or swollen or do not have the energy to do it. And I thought, okay, this is, and I had a 6-year-old at that time. I was little, and I was thought, I'm not gonna get, when she gets married, I'm not gonna get that old. I'm gonna die before. And I always thought inside of me that I did not believe in all this, the inner work. But something inside of me is, okay, I need to get better so I can go to the wedding of my daughter. I need to actually teach her how she can become strong, or because the victim mentality, it is going to get me so far. Yes, people are going to have compassion and me, but that is not what I really want, the pity of others. So that's when you have to observe your victim mentality. That is going to take you so far. But in reality, the victim mentality, you're asking for pity. That's what you have to question yourself. That's what you really want from others.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I love this. Absolutely. So much in that victim, and because we've all had it. And I think it resides in all of us. If we let it, if we let that drive us, then we're not going to change. But if we, like you said, watch your thoughts. What are you thinking? What are you telling yourself? All the things, and be observant of that can really help you transform it or transmute it in that moment, reframe it in that moment. So beautiful piece. I wanted to ask you, though, I'm really curious about this motherboard that you talk about, and how do you help clients reprogram? This is, I guess, what we're talking about here is the reprogramming of the motherboard in here, but I love the term that you've used. And how do you reprogram the motherboard and align them to their highest potential in your work?
When I learned precisely NLP, and I came to understand that we are programmed just like a computer in a way, every single human being. If I'm going to put you an example, my dad used to believe that if he walked barefoot, he was going to catch a cold. And he tried to program that to all his kids and so forth, including me. And the ones that they accept that programming that my dad was all the time telling, don't walk barefoot, you're going to catch a cold. And continue repeating that since we were kids. Ones that believe that, in the moment they walk barefoot, they catch a cold. And the ones that we did not believe that and we walk barefoot, we not catch a cold. What was the difference? The difference is that we accept it or we do not accept it. Yeah. And that goes to all the beliefs, including your worth, including what you can or you can't do. Everything, it is how to affect you, the opinions of others, and all the limitations goes in those beliefs. And they are in your recorded, let's put it like that, in your subconscious. And that's what I call the motherboard. Like like a computer. So you use programs that they're obsolete and put new programs that now that the ones that you want to create in your life, the life experience that you want.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. I love that motherboard concept. It's beautiful. And have you got can you share a story about a client that you've helped transform and embracing their new self-belief and how that is unfolded? Have you got a story that you could share with our audience?
Oh, I have many. I have many.
Just one.
Yes, I work with people in groups, and mainly are women, the ones I work with. So what are they always, they don't believe in themselves, or they believe that they have to take that abuse, or they don't know how to put limitations to others, boundaries, or they are, and many of them, when they come with me, they're in that state. So we start working to knowing what it is, the programming, and learning how to reprogram themselves, even change an identity, that you can change your identity because it's a program at the end you have. And let's say, for in my case, it will be, I am Mexican, I am a woman, I am a short woman, etc. So there's a lot of limitations that goes in there, but that is just limitations that goes in my subconscious that I can remove. And like many other people, like everybody that wants to make that change, to create that transformation. Now, in the case of my clients, when I start working with that, they start for letting go the shame and the blame and the guilt, and they start forgiving themselves. I saw so many changes that many of them, even in a lot of them, they do practice their Reiki or different things. That's why I said I work with people that they're already healers or coaches or energy workers. So many of them, they were, but they were not believing in themselves when they were doing that to their clients, or they were judging them. Many coaches or healers and so forth do, because they have not done the inner work. In the
Mm.
moment they start doing the inner work, they can help better. They will start helping their clients better. And not only that, they start doing the inner work. Like, oh, that client that I was feeling a little bit irritated or triggered by that client, I can help them better because I can detach. Is their issue, not mine issue? It is not a reflection. And at the same time, they can start seeing, okay, why it is triggering me to do it myself. Yes, I can help the client, but also can help me, because or else I would not have the experience of that client that is triggering me to start.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And helping them to supporting them to look at their own things that come up in that process of working with somebody else, like a mirror. Yeah, I get that. That's great. So you work with, sorry, go on.
And removing the judgment. So like that, they can help better their clients.
Yeah, being detached. Yeah. Yeah, removing judgment. And that's a beautiful thing. So you work with starseeds, lightworkers, healers, you said coaches, to help them cultivate their unique gifts and purpose. And you've tapped into a little bit of it here and how you do that. You work in groups.
I work in one-on-one.
And one-on-one. Okay, great. So how can you go more into how you do that?
After I healed myself, and many of the people that knew me, they asked me, okay, you're not swollen, you have energy. And they start seeing my change and my physical change, because they saw me for 10 years battling. And they said, can you teach me how you did it? So then after that, I started writing a book.
Oh, beautiful.
And in that time, it came out only the level 1. This is the level 1. I created Path to the Heart, a transformational system.
Yep.
That is, it is precisely to, I call them the shadow work, because it's all the shame and the blame and the guilt and the fears and all those kind of stuff. But one of my passions, it is channeling. It's always been channeling, because I realized that I'm doing this since I was a kid. I've been connecting. I realized that I cannot teach channeling, that is my passion, until they do that work, because or else it's going to be reflected in their own gifts that everybody have. So I created, my guides start giving me more material. So right now I have 4 levels in Path to the Heart. And the first level, like I mentioned, it was the shadow work. The second level, it goes a little bit more metaphysical, where we see all the laws of the universe and the family lineage and things like that. And we finish with a soul retrieval, because I work with shamanic energies too. And then after that, we go in the third level. Now what it is, the different kinds of channeling, how to recognize your gifts and learning how to use your gifts, because sometimes you just receive the gift and you don't know what to do with them, and how you apply that to your own healing practice that you're having with your clients. Go to the subconscious of your own clients, so you can reprogram and remove things, limiting beliefs, the new ones that they want and so forth, so they can give a better service.
So you guide them through processes?
Yes.
Yeah, and work with past experiences. I'm wondering if you work with past lives.
Yes, we do. I do. I am a therapist and I work with past lives.
Okay.
When we're the second level, when we're working with family lineage, or we're working also in past lives and so forth, because many of people, I forgot the name right now. Science have demonstrated to us that we are repeating and we're carrying the mistakes or the limitations from our ancestors. So if we don't clear that family lineage, we're going to continue carrying that.
Yeah.
And that also, of course, and so we're carrying many mistakes and many limitations and beliefs from past lives. And we're bringing it to our present life until we observe it and we can clear it and clean it. So we can stop continue carrying that. Because not only that, we're teaching our kids and the future generations to have those limiting beliefs. Epigenetics, I'm sorry, that was the word that I was missing.
Epigenetics, yes, epigenetics. That's it. Yeah, that's a fascinating area, isn't it? And I love everything you're talking about here. It's so resonant with me, within me, and the work I do as well. Wow. Yeah, so the lineage thing, that it's almost like cutting the cord, isn't it? When I did that work with my family, it was almost like severing all those ties and starting anew with a whole different way of being in the world. And I'm sure that in your own clients and possibly in your own work. And then reconnecting with your channeling again after being, disconnected, I guess, for a while. But it sounds like it was something that in your culture was pretty normal, right? And using that to enhance all of the other things is amazing. So is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would love to share from your heart about the work you do? Or I love to know also about the techniques specific. Do you use quantum healing techniques?
Yes, the quantum techniques, it is BQH, that's the certification that I have, that it is some of the methods of Dolores Cannon, in a way. There's another school that's separated from Dolores Cannon, and that's BQH, that's Beyond Quantum Healing. And there, basically, you're going to go to the subconscious of the people. So you can check past lives and things like that. But at the same time, you can see the other limitations. You can use different modalities that you already have, and you can add that when they're in hypnosis. Personally, I work more with people going into the theta level in the conscience. There is the subconscious, the motherboard. And there, I love to, I just tell them, give me a list of the things that you don't want and the list that you want. So like that, we just remove and put on whatever they don't want. And it is just fascinating to observe the face and because you take, of course, the energetic charge when you're doing that, because you're cutting contracts and vows and things like that too, from there, and clearing them and so forth from energetics that they are being carrying, maybe from past lives or by generations, depending on the timeline. And there's curses in families and things like that they still carrying it. In the moment you clear them out, and now you say, what do you really want in your life? That's when you can now start creating the life that actually they want. And it is my passion to observe how they transform and what things they do. Like I was saying earlier, many of the people that I worked are coaches or healers, energy workers, and they were hiding that because they were too afraid of the family. What is my family going to say, or their husband, or the kids, or whoever, friends? And after working with me, they go all out. Let me be free. Let me be completely me. And they start loving who they truly are. And they give you expand.
Embodying all of it. Okay, I relate totally of being in the spiritual closet for so many years. And it's so liberating when you can be set free and step into your own power and do what you love in the world, because if you don't, you're doing a disservice to those who need you. That is my belief now. Oh, thank you for sharing that piece. And it sounds like you meet people where they're at as well, like the different levels, and then they step into the higher realms of where they need to be. And that's beautiful. So if you could leave our listeners with one practice or mindset shift or something specific that they could do that could significantly impact their sense of well-being, their self-esteem, their coming out in the world as a spiritual healer or whatever that may be, what would that be?
The first thing that I would tell them is learn how to become the observers. Observe your thoughts, because you're going to have the negative and the positive. So whatever thought that is coming to you that doesn't make you feel comfortable or it is very dense, don't focus on that. Try to substitute it for something positive. Focus on the other thought that at the same time it is maybe it's louder, that is more positive. Because remember, wherever we put our attention, we make it bigger.
Yeah.
So put it in the other one. And the same apply for your emotions. The emotions are the magic of the human being. And we combine it with the thoughts. That's how we create positive or negative things.
Yeah.
So just become aware of those things. So like that, you can start creating the life that you actually really want.
Yeah. And the one you love. Yeah. Emotion, energy and motion. So focusing on, not focusing, but becoming aware of the thoughts and the emotions that are coming up for you. And that led, you go on.
And when you're receiving a thought or emotion that is like, okay, this is not mine, probably it's not yours.
Yeah.
Because as an empath, we connect to other people. So you might connecting to your neighbor that it is in a bad mood or depressed or whatever, and it's not you. So let it go, that thought or that emotion. So that's why it's important to become the observer. What is yours, you carry and you're responsible. What is not yours, let other people to become responsible of.
Yeah, I love that. And because that was leading into a question I had around what could you ask yourself on a daily basis? Like what powerful question could you actually ask yourself to help you understand and go down that path of, what you want and what you love and live that fulfilled life? And I just hearing that you would ask, is this mine, right? Hand on heart, is this my thought? Is this my emotion? And really deeply connecting with maybe perhaps where it has come from, where it stemmed from, and disconnecting yourself at that moment. Oh, no, it's like that self-inquiry piece, isn't it?
And if you believe in yourself, when you ask that question that you just said, you're going to receive even the face of the person that belongs to.
Yes.
If you don't believe yourself, you're just going to dismiss it.
No.
Believe in yourself, because you're going to receive the face or the sensation or the aroma of something where it belongs to.
Yes.
That's why it's also important to believe in yourself.
Yeah. Believe and trust. And there's so many little layers, isn't there, in that process that will unfold, I think, if you continue on that trajectory of doing the inner work, working with people like you if you don't know where to start, working with people like you to understand yourself, or because I believe in support being our superpower. And I've always had coaches and mentors and spiritual leaders that I want to learn from, I want to find out, and then develop my own assessment from there, my own path. Oh my goodness, this is such a rich conversation. I'm so happy we're having it, Monica. If you could envision the future of well-being for individuals, communities in the world, what does that look like for you? And how can we as individuals contribute to creating that vision today?
If we want the world change so we can have a happy, loving, and compassionate world, we need to start from ourselves. No one can give you what they don't have for themselves. So we need to start that self-love, that compassion for us, so we can feel that compassion and love for others. That's how I envision the world. That finally everybody becomes responsible for their own things, that they're responsible. And like that, they can have compassion for others. When we remove the judgment, we don't know what other people are passing through, and we don't know why they're passing it through. Remove the judgment, we can have compassion for them. And we start in the world that actually we really want to live.
Yeah. So through self-love, you can activate self-belief. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any practice that you do for that self-love piece?
Just go to the mirror.
I was hoping you would say this.
That's a very practical and very effective practice that many of us know it. And this is a reminder for the ones that already know it. Go to the mirror, look at yourself in your eyes, and start saying, I love you. I accept you. You are enough. And start saying that over and over, looking into your eyes. And if you want to cry it, honor those emotions. And slowly, at the beginning, it's going to be difficult. You might not believe in yourself that, yes, how am I going to love me? Yes, I'm not pretty enough, and so forth. Those are the ego judgments, mind. To take a walk. The ego is very obedient. When you say, tell your ego, take a walk, the ego will go and take a walk and leave you alone. So you can continue doing this exercise. Do it every morning until it's necessary. Believe me, I have lost weight like that. I have got better with that physically. So try that. Because if you say, oh, how fat and ugly, that's what you're going to be attracting to. So he said, oh, I lost 10 pounds. I look great. That's what it is going to be coming into your reality. So observe how you talk to yourself in the mirror and change that. Whatever you did yesterday, you can do it right now or later on or the next day. There's always an opportunity the next moment to change that.
And it takes practice. So if it's very uncomfortable, like it is for a lot of people, just keep showing up for yourself, right? Just keep standing even if you're just looking in the mirror and noticing the thoughts. That's powerful, isn't it? And I love the piece about putting the ego aside, because then you're allowing more of you, your power empowered you to shine through and continue with showing up. And I know women that have just gone to the mirror and just cried, but they persevered and they come through the other side. And that alone is transformational, that one little practice. So starting there is very powerful. Thank you for sharing that piece. I was hoping you would. Oh, my goodness. This has been a very enriching and enlivening and conversation that I love, I'm all about. And I can feel it in Monica and her passion and compassion and heart for the work that you've birthed into the world and through your books as well. So all the links will be down in the comments below. If you want to connect with Monica, if you want to know more about her work, and I'm sure she'd be open to answer any questions. The Warrior of Love. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today, Monica. It's been an absolute pleasure and joy and an enlightened conversation, and look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate this conversation. And to all your viewers, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Beautiful.
Wow. What an incredibly heart-opening and soul-stirring conversation we have just experienced with Monica. Her journey of pain into purpose and fear into self-belief is a shining example of what's possible when we choose to trust the divine breadcrumbs and truly commit to inner transformation. At Sacred You, we are committed to creating a space where women from all over the world can support, uplift, and empower each other. Visit our website to explore upcoming workshops, events, and other community offerings. Check us out at www.sacredu, that's the letter U, .love. And as always, if this episode spoke to you, please subscribe to our podcast, share it with a friend, or leave us a review. And as Monica so beautifully said, no one can give you what they don't have. It starts with us. So until next time, stay grounded, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep walking your pathway to well-being. From our heart to yours, thank you.